Hello! Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you could join me. Today I want to talk about my personal experiences with spironolactone when I was first transitioning medically from male to female. I want to go over this because I felt like I didn't really know enough about what was going on back then, and I didn't have the practical experience that I have now. Oftentimes, one of the protocols for male to female transgender women is to, in addition to giving them estrogen and progesterone, well actually, the most common thing for endocrinologists and doctors to give trans women is estrogen. Sometimes they also give progesterone. There have been mixed opinions on whether that actually helps, but it's a natural hormone that occurs in women, and I believe it's very beneficial, especially when used 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, as naturally occurs in natal women. I'd recommend you go see my moon cycles video up here, and that has more information on the whole aspect of how I cycle my hormones. When I first saw my doctor, he was originally going to give me both injectable estrogen and injectable progesterone, depo-progesterone. But I had, by happenstance, just happened to read some articles about bioidentical estrogen as opposed to other forms of estrins, I believe they're called. And I was concerned that having a hormone that was modified so it could stay in my liver for an extended period would have potential health consequences that I wasn't really interested if I didn't have to do that. So we went on oral progesterone and oral estrogen. I took the estrogen sublingually so it could hopefully pass to being absorbed by the stomach and avoid the liver and go directly into the bloodstream. You can do that with progesterone too. It's just a little bit harder because it's carried in a oil. So you really would have to hold it under your tongue for quite a while for it to absorb. But honestly, if you've got 5 minutes, why not do it? I was also put on spironolactone. Spironolactone is a diuretic that's frequently used for high blood pressure. It also is an androsterone agonist. Androsterone is a testosterone precursor, and it's given to trans women in order to reduce the level of testosterone that they can produce. That sounds great, right? Especially for someone just starting out their transition. I don't want any more testosterone. I never had a really high testosterone level myself, but the other effects of Spiro were just so horrible that I don't think it was even worth it, and I think just taking female hormones would have been enough. Because in some cases, the male hormones can actually magnify the female hormones. I mean, there are no male and female hormones. Everybody has all the hormones in their bodies, just at different levels. And there's frequently no constant relationship between sex and hormone level. So this is really a gender binary way of talking that has been developed, and it's hard to break out of, especially in the medical profession. What Spiro does is it eats up a lot of salt and makes you, and it's a diuretic, so you have to pee constantly. You have to drink tons of water and pee constantly, like every 20 minutes, basically. And this is from me, who could usually go, I don't know, several hours without peeing, usually. What I found was, in order to replenish all of the missing fluids and salt that I needed, I had to eat tons of pickles that just seemed like the best solution. And so, as the one positive result is I got really good at making my own pickles. And if you haven't had your own pickles, I strongly recommend it because it's way better than the stuff you buy in the store. I wish I'd never taken Spiro, honestly. It made me feel like I had a brain fog, and I was on it for at least a couple of years, I think. Yeah, it's about 2.5 years before I finally got off of it. I mean, in some ways, being on Spiro pushed me to get an orchiectomy just because I wanted to quit taking that stuff so badly. Obviously, it didn't occur to me at the time that I could just stop taking it. But at the same time, I was concerned about levels of testosterone. And I think overly so. I think I expected that it would be this magic bullet to not have a body that produced testosterone, and actually it caused some more health problems that I had to amend later on by taking testosterone also. So now I take testosterone weekly at a very low dose because my body doesn't really make much of its own. All things you need to think about if you're a young transitioning woman, or old for that matter. I'm sure if you're younger it's probably easier to deal with, but you also get a lot more effect from just the hormones when you're younger, I think. Your body is still in that changing phase, and unlike me, who started doing this at 38, your body is ready to switch gears and start something new in a much bigger way. Especially if you're like 18 or 20. It's even like 25, I think it's a lot easier to transition physically at that point. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. I will be looking for them and I will answer them. And if you have any other questions, I'm happy to help as best as I can. Please remember, this is not medical advice. This is my own personal experience for your edification. May you never take a drug that you don't like. May you always love your doctors and believe that they know the best. If they do. But if they don't know the best, know to take yourself away and find a better doctor. Be well. You are blessed. I love you. Aloha.